So what I want to do now is spend a little bit of time on the Business Innovation Programme, and I hope that name sticks with you, because it is the main form of support for manufacturing, design and innovation in Wales. It's a European programme which started February the 2nd. I always remember that because that's my birthday. This year. And this is the first of a series of launch events to promote this. What I'd like to do is go through the structure of the programme in terms of personal experience, I suppose. I could do it the boring way and just talk about the programme, but I think it highlights some interesting points if I talk about my experience. When I first graduated in the early 80s, yes, I am that old, I joined a large brake manufacturing company and brake systems supplier in the automotive sector. So it was characterized at that time with departments for everything. You had quality, you had design, you had manufacturing, time and motion, work study. It had all these departments. But I joined in the design department, working on jigs, fixtures on the semi-automatic assembly line. But within that, then you become a little bit insular. You join the design department, so you tend to look after design issues, and the other departments are the other department's problems, you know. So there's me in my little box in design. The situation that arose was like every other company. They wanted to innovate and technically differentiate their products. And at the time, remember it's the 80s, someone innovated the first part of the process. They came up with the idea that the braking efficiency of a car actually drops off in a skid. So obviously we know it now as ABS, but we knew the project as SCS, skid check system. So a task force was set up. I joined that task force, and we started developing prototypes. The company wasn't sure at the time whether a purely mechanical solution was best, or it was better to develop an electronic system based on sensors, sensing when the wheel locked up. We were working on hydraulic pressure and a very fast operating valve. So two teams were set up. So for the purposes of this sort of demonstration, you can consider them our competition. Prototypes were made, they were tested, and then someone came along to the meeting from the manufacturing department, and they started having a look at some of our designs and said, that doesn't fit on our machines, we can't make that little component or those components economically. So they threw a spanner in the works. So manufacturing was involved. But being innovative people, we said, well, that old 3-axis NC machine that you've got down there really should be updated to a 4-axis CNC. We're happier then, we got CAD-CAM, and so there's three forces at work there. Always in the background, we were aware that one of our jobs was to create IP and protect this device and protect the company. We had our problems in sort of liaising around those three areas, but so did the electronics team as well, because they suddenly realized that you needed a clean area. There wasn't enough room in the factory, and you actually had to extend it to the side and develop a clean area. So they had their problems. We were working through ours. We were confident that we were going to win. So, really speaking, it's wrong to separate those items. They should be working together. I'll just take a second there for a moment, because in the past, public sector support in these areas was just like that. It was three discrete areas. You had design support, you had innovation support, manufacturing support, and you had IP support. And advisors went in under these categories and advised. But it's almost down to personal experience, really, with those advisors, whether they picked up the other issues. So someone would go in on a design issue. They should pick up IP being designed, but their brief wasn't to pick up the manufacturing issues, and they may not pick up the innovation. So really speaking, those three elements need to work together, and you can see there's common overlap between those three sections. One thing that happened in our little project was probably the end of the story. Halfway through the project, someone came in, quiet little chap who sat in a corner with a knowing grin on his face, which was a bit disturbing. Halfway through the meeting, we realized he was looking at IP and what IP we could generate. But what he actually did was present us with that, which is a patent filed about 8 years before our project. And when we looked at it, there was an awful lot of information in there which conflicted, so it was prohibitive IP, if you like. We struggled with it for a while to try and work around it, but as you know, the ABS system, the electronic guys won, I'm sorry. But it just goes to show, that this whole integration is vital within the company and also within the support that we offer as well. And the important thing is that intellectual property is core to all three elements. So there we are. They should all be working together. And the new business innovation program is really promoting this sort of mentality.